Well, it's showing who you are, and we've been friends since we met on Clubhouse in 2020.
2020.
Right?
Yep.
And there's a group of us that just we've all kind of stayed in touch.
Yeah.
And, you
good
reached
vibes.
out. Good vibe. Great vibes.
Great vibes.
And then you reached out to, we went fishing together like a year and a half ago in Fort Myers.
Yep.
I was down there. And so we had a blast.
Yep. I love it.
I got to eat real island cooking.
Home cooked.
What did we have?
We had, I think we did curry chicken with rice, and I think I did oxtails as well too. Stew oxtails with rice and peas. Yeah, you ate good that night. Yeah. I was a little worried because I was like, man, I hope he likes this, because not too many American people can come take that jump and just dive right into Caribbean food just like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's regular food for us, and to feed you. I always tell people, like, if I deal with you, I deal with you. You have 100% loyalty for me, because that's how I am. That's my heart. That's how I come across. And, it's not like I expect anything back, but I just want whoever I deal with like that to know Kevin is a genuine dude.
And you are. No, that was one of the hardest rides home, because it was like 2 hours back to my mom's house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, food coma.
You're like,
and we had some drinks, and we're on the boat all day fishing in the sun. And that was a tough ride home, man.
And you made it though.
I made it. I'm here. I'm here. But I would do it again in a second.
Yeah, man.
So then we fast forward to about a week ago. Did we talk?
Yeah, a week ago.
About a week ago.
A week ago, yep.
And you call me, and we shoot the shit, but then you say, this is what I have going on. And what'd you say to me?
I said, Jeff, I need to be on your show. He was like, why? I said, what's going on? You said, you're like, what's going on? I said, look, I've been talking about not getting out of real estate, but changing my brand path in real estate, where, everybody now in the last year and a half has been podcast, YouTube, podcast, 10 tips, 10 must-haves, do these 3 things before. And it's become, I'll be honest with you, a cesspool of do this. And now throw in an additional 50,000 agents since 2020 has come into the real estate game. So you're talking about an oversaturated market of real estate agents that, to me, Jeff, it's oversaturated, in my opinion. It's oversaturated. And I had to figure out, and a lot of agents, a lot of the veterans, I started doing this in 2007. A lot of veterans had to either figure out, am I going to get out of this? Am I going to ride the wave? Or am I going to create a path to do something extra stupid or like out of this world? And that's what I did. I said, you know what? I am going to go back to my home. I'm going to go back to the Caribbean. Because just like what we were talking about just now, when you think about luxury real estate, everybody thinks about the $5 million homes in, no, not 5, the $30 million homes in LA, the $20 million homes in Miami or Texas or wherever it is that you would find these ultra modern luxury homes. But nobody thinks about that beachfront home in Jamaica, or that bungalow hidden in the mountains in Grenada or St. Kitts, that with this just serene atmosphere. So what we decided to do was, we're going to go back to the Caribbean and start selling real estate. We're going to go back and shoot content and show the world, not HGTV world, but we're going to show the true essence of Caribbean culture, Caribbean real estate, Caribbean luxury real estate. And that's what we're going to be doing.
And you're in Fort Myers now.
Yep.
With EXP.
Yep.
Got a nice team.
Love it.
Doing well.
Love it.
Right? Things
EXP
are good.
To the world.
Right?
Yes.
And so what gave you the idea to do this? And then how did you build your team? Because you're on a plane next week to go shoot.
Yeah. Well, July 11th, I'm headed down to Trinidad. From Trinidad to to Barbados and then Grenada and then 2 or 3 small islands. EXP, to be honest, was that for me. It was a great opportunity to expand my business. They gave me the tools, they gave me the platform to be international, right? And not just international, but they gave me the opportunity to really connect with people internationally who are a part of the EXP family, and that was something that I loved. I embraced, and I said, oh my God, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. And true story, 90% of the agents on my team are from Haiti. So we have a multicultural team. We have, Caribbean folks, we have Spanish folks, we have Haitians. I mean, we have a mixture of agents on my team. So it's a true representation of what that EXP platform looks like. Black, white, yellow, green, blue, and we love that.
It's awesome.
We're going to embrace everybody here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, we're excited to do that.
So talk to me about next week. You're off to shoot pilots.
Yeah.
For luxury real estate.
Yeah. So the name of the show is Caribbean Cribs. We're headed down to Trinidad, and we're going to be looking at the real estate market in every island that we go to. We're going to be looking at the real estate market, how the real estate market has changed over the course, right? You have Oprah Winfrey has homes there, Mel Gibson has a home down there, Diddy has a home down there, DJ Khaled has homes, in the Caribbean. So what we're planning on doing is highlighting these luxury pieces of real estate throughout the Caribbean. Expats. We're looking at people who are looking to invest in real estate down in the Caribbean. We're looking at people who want to look at real estate outside of, nothing against HGTV, because they had something called Caribbean Life, but it was pretty much the Dominican Republic, St. Martin, and St. Croix.
Okay, so I'm watching. I stream everything, so I don't get HGTV. But I was in Charlotte this past weekend with my girlfriend for a wedding.
Yeah.
So I love hotel TV because all of a sudden I have HGTV. All of a sudden, the only time I watch HGTV is when I travel. So we're watching International House Hunters, right? And this couple and their son are living in Manhattan, and she's a voiceover person. And he has done like productions for rock groups all over the world.
Yeah.
So you think these people are fucking ballers, right? And they're looking for, she's from Australia, southern part of Australia, like out in the middle, kind of, not like a big population area. And I'm like, oh, these people are looking for like a $2, $3, $4 million home. They're renting, and their fucking budget's $1,800 a month, Kevin. And I look at Brandy and go, what the shit is this?
Yeah.
That's more than what I pay. Or I'm sorry, less than what I pay. Less than what I pay in rent. And these fuckers are going to Australia?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that just different countries and scalability.
Yeah.
Do you know yet, like here, there's a big inventory challenge. Is that the same in the Caribbean and different islands? Or
it differs from island to island, right? Let's take, for instance, a place like Jamaica, right? So Jamaica, almost everybody knows, everybody goes to Jamaica, wants to be in Jamaica. They want that island life living. People have been to Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. You see the Dominican Republic now blowing up. Everybody's buying these condos in the Dominican Republic, and they cost what? $125,000, and you can rent them out Airbnb. So that's huge, right? But when you think about, let's take an island like St. Lucia, right? The inventory in St. Lucia is very, I want to say limited, but very unique, right? What you will find in St. Lucia is not what you might find in Jamaica.
What makes St. Lucia unique? The inventory.
Location. So it's always location, right? People might want to go to, you might find ecotourism might be a big thing in St. Lucia, whereas it may not be in Jamaica. The person in Jamaica may want the big beachfront home, with the pool, the infinity pool, leading out to the beach. person in St. Lucia, he might want bungalow in the mountains surrounded by, forests and trees and, birds everywhere. Right. So that's what I love about what we're going to do here. And it's not like we're taking people and, showing them, this is what, we're trying to sell anything. We're trying to highlight. We're trying to show you the gems throughout the Caribbean. We're going to be talking about, like you said, how far your money can actually go throughout the Caribbean. Because think about it. Some islands are 7-1. 7 of their dollars to $1 US. And the affordability is, man, it's affordable.
Where's the first island you're going to be going to?
Trinidad. So I'm going back home.
Okay. Which is your home.
That's where I'm from.
That's your place, man. That's your place.
Yeah.
When you're there, what will you be doing?
So when I go to Trinidad, so on each island, I'm meeting one of the top agents in the island, right? And that top agent, we're going to be looking at not only the culture, right? How the culture's changed. We're going to be looking at a little bit of food, right? And then we're going to be talking to officials, right? We're going to be talking to the movers and shakers on the island about what they see and where they see real estate going, because there is an influence. There is an influx of Americans and Europeans coming into the islands. There's a huge Chinese presence as well. So there's a lot of people coming into the Caribbean to buy Caribbean properties. So what I'm going to highlight in Trinidad especially is how the dynamic of the Trinidad real estate landscape has changed within the last 10 years. I left Trinidad in 1990, and Trinidad now is nothing like what it was back in 1990, right? When you look at modern living, there's just so many modern homes right now. When you talk about the luxury real estate, there's so much luxury real estate on the island. Let's think about Tobago, the sister isle, Trinidad and Tobago. The Tobago portion of what we're going to do, beachfront. We're going to look at beachfront homes. We're going to look at the ecotourism as well too. Every island has a little piece of ecotourism that we want to highlight. Trinidad is about the culture. It's about the food. It's about the lifestyle and how far you can actually push the boundaries with what you want to do real estate-wise on each one of these islands, especially Trinidad.
Is there tax advantages to living on a certain island? Like people come to Nevada all the time, Florida too, just because of,
That's a good question.
Taxes and estate taxes and death taxes or lack thereof.
Yeah. Well, so here's a good example, right? Why would you not want to, if you have a yacht, right? If you own a yacht, what's one of the advantages of owning a yacht in the Caribbean versus owning it here in the United States? It's almost the same thing. The taxes that you would have to pay for the employees, the American employees to work on that yacht, far outweigh what you would have to pay in the Caribbean. So when you talk about tax benefits, right, huge tax benefits. It's a beautiful way for you to invest in real estate without paying the astronomical prices when it comes to taxes here in the United States. So for me, look, right now, I right before I came here, I had a friend of mine from England. She just touched base with me. She said, "Hey, Kev, I'm ready to buy property in Trinidad. Can you help me?" And I was like, "Oh man, this is beautiful. Synchronicity. Yes, I can help you.
It's great.
Let's do this." Yeah. Right? Because she's looking at the fact that now she has, she's done well for herself. So she now can take that money, go back to the islands and invest in island property. And I think a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people who are looking at, something needs to be different. I don't necessarily want to spend all my money here or let's say in England or, wherever, but they can actually take that money and it can stretch further. It can definitely stretch further throughout the Caribbean.
This is just, again, my ADHD kicks in and my let's see, what time is it? My Adderall has just kicked in. So we're good, brother. Is you might want to also talk to a high net worth money manager on each island.
Oh, wow. Yes.
To have them talk about This is why if you establish residency in Tobago,
yeah.
boom, 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 boom. If you own a yacht, it would cost this much if you had it registered in Miami.
Yes.
If you have it registered here, this is how much it's going to cost you for staff and all that stuff.
Nice.
I always preach you lead with data.
Yeah.
Always lead with data.
Yeah.
You've not earned the right to tell anybody how great you are.
Yeah.
And who you are. That's nice. And they'll ask eventually when you earn the right through presenting the right data sets to them in a digestible way.
Yes.
Right?
I like that.
And so if there is a way, because that's what, like, I'm watching all these HGTV shows when I'm on, a hotel room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how much is that house worth? I want to see that. And they're looking at 3 different homes. And here's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
For you to go in and go, the average home price in Trinidad is, this much. And today we're going to be looking at this home, and we're going to be talking to economic development people and about what's gone on in the past, more importantly, what they're now doing and for the future, and what incentives do they have set up.
Nice. Yes.
To entice people. And you can then say, right now, with population migration from their data sets, 14% of everyone coming right now is coming from China. Wow. 13% is coming from Great Britain. Like, they'll have all that data for you, and they'll want to share it because they want to. If they want more tourism and more ecotourism to come in, you want to get those data sets from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? I love that.
Right.
I totally love that.
That's the stuff. And to have a little 1 minute segment ish with some guy or girl that's born and raised in the island.
Yeah.
But they just look the part, and they work for Lehman Brothers or whoever it is, or JP Morgan Chase.
Yes.
And they're doing high net worth, portfolios, and they can't talk about anything, but what they can tell you is this. This is why their clientele are establishing residency or buying a second or third home on that specific island.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I think it's a biggie for you for 2 reasons. Thank you. It's a biggie for you for 2 reasons, Kev. One, when you have those high net worth and ultra high net worth people that are going to watch your show, the light bulb's going to go on because they're like, well, I've gone on a cruise before, and it's a big white boat and with a big white guy getting off, and you run around and do your thing, and then you run back to the boat.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're not one of the last people on the boat where everyone's filming and it's fucking TikTok content.
Yeah.
Because there's Fern and Fred from Des Moines with their fucking flip-flops on, where they didn't put their sunblock on, and they're running that goddamn boat.
Yeah.
And the boat's going, fur, and fuck you. So for you, but so there's also those people remember Robin Leach had Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous?
Yep.
And that show blew up. Well, most people are never going to get to that level. But boy, are they going to watch a show where they can see, wow, I could possibly get to the Caribbean. For 1.5 million, that's what gets me to, St. Lucia?
Yeah.
Or for $800,000, this is what I can get in the Dominican Republic?
Wow.
Holy shit.
Right?
So I think that would be something that if I was the audience, that would be digestible content for me. I would love to see that. And that you interview people that are from the States and live there.
Yes. And live on the island.
They've been there.
Yes.
And they say, you know what? And the one question I always ask them is, if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Yeah.
Because then that's a tacit endorsement of teaching anybody else, i.e. your audience, to say, all right, if we're going to do this, we got to talk to this guy for our financial stuff. And we got to, that girl said, do this, and this, and check and do all this stuff. And, go to the IKEA and whatever.
You want to know something that you said there that makes, 1,000% sense. The average age of the individual in the United States, Europe, that's buying property, not like their mom and dad did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, where they would stay home. The guy's my age now. I'm 47 years old. Guys who are 45, 40, they're looking outside of the United States now. You see a push towards not only the Dominican Republic, but you see a push towards Mexico, right? How many people like agents now, are like, man, we're buying
a lot.
Like everybody is.
There's a shitload of agents that I see now. My Instagram feed, every once in a while now, I'll see, hey, Punta Cara, all these other like Cabo,
Tulum,
and Tulum. I'm too fucking old for Tulum, and I love Instagram, I love TikTok, but I'm not going to fucking Tulum. Sorry, not going.
It's
not going. I'm 53. Please.
I spoke to my sons about this, right? And, they're like, oh man, we got to go to Mexico. I said, listen to me. We have home. We have the Caribbean. The Caribbean, I don't care what anybody says. I might be impartial. The most beautiful places on earth are in those 52 islands south of Florida. They're right there.
Yeah.
People think about Haiti and they think Haiti is this broken down country, but there's a little island off the south coast of Haiti. Totally amazing. All the cruise ships stop there. Beautiful.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Turks and Caicos. I mean, think about it. Turks and Caicos, amazing. Right? You have islands like St. Vincent. Right? St. Vincent, an amazing island. Grenada, Barbados, amazing island. Martinique, amazing. Dominica, let me say this right. Dominica, amazing volcanic islands. So there is a world of different opportunities that you can get on every single island. Every single island is something different. So it's not just a Latin American thing because, and I'm going to be very biased here. You go to Latin America, you get Latin America. When you go to the Caribbean, you're going to get something different on every single island.
It's a different. It's a different culture. It's 52 islands.
Yeah.
So 52 different.
Just say 52 main islands you can count.
So we'll say, but you have 52 different islands in the Caribbean. That's 52 different economies, 52 different cultures, and 52 different choices for you to make that your primary, secondary residence.
Yes.
And that's the story you're going to tell.
That's the story we're going to tell.
Well, just to put a fucking bow on Mexico, all right? If I can't drink the water, I can't stand fucking tequila, all right? My tequila days were St. John Fisher College back in the 80s and 90s, drinking fucking mezcal to eat the worm. I still have PTSD from that shit. All these motherfuckers now are like, oh, well, you can get this fancy Casamigos. Suck a bag of dicks. I am not, I want nothing. I'll do bourbon all day long, but tequila?
Yeah.
No way. No, I'm not a tequila guy, and everyone's tried to get me on it. And I'm not going to Tijuana. I have no desire to see a donkey show. I don't care to see that.
You don't want to see
I don't want to see any of that shit. Yeah. But the Caribbean,
you'll
love.
find something different. You'll find something different.
Back when I was in college, we went to the Dominican Republic back in the early 90s to study the presidential election. It was crazy. Yeah. But what a beautiful island.
Yeah.
And been to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, yep.
Going on a cruise out of Miami.
I can't wait to go to Puerto Rico, to be honest with you.
Puerto Rico's beautiful and Americanized, but in a good way. I think we fucked them over when they had the storm hit, and it took I think they're still reeling from that.
And you want to know something? That's one of the episodes I can't wait to go shoot to because everybody has this idea of what Bahamas looks like, because it's so Americanized. Everybody has this idea of what Jamaica would look like because so many people go there. Same thing with Puerto Rico. People have this idea in their head as to like what Puerto Rico looks like because of what they saw, right? Our job with Caribbean Cribs, we're going to show you the real Caribbean culture on that island.
I love and I know you're already going to do this, but you highlight a restaurant.
Yes.
And there's mama in the back, and she's been there, and her grandmother had it, and she's in the back, and it's this heavy,
true entrepreneurship.
And it's this heavy set woman, and she is just slinging the rice and slinging the oxtail, and there's a giant pot with something marinating in it. You've got me. If I see that, I'm down.
Yes.
I am down.
And you want to know something, Jeff? That's on every island. That's on every island. If it's one thing that people, and I'm pretty sure almost everybody who's looking at this will tell you, there is a sense of hospitality that you get when you go to the Caribbean that you don't get anywhere else. You get that, come in, let's cook, sit down, eat, stay, have a good time, right? Laugh, enjoy. You mightn't even understand what we're saying. You mightn't understand what the music is, but you're having a good time with people who love you and will take care of you and just want to know that you're filling your belly and you're having a good time.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's Caribbean life, man.
The closest thing the United States has is Hawaii. I think.
I love Hawaii.
Right? Hawaii's great. The Aloha spirit.
Yep.
I've been there twice, and I've told anybody, if you go, when you leave out of here, you've got to fly Hawaiian Airlines.
Yes.
Because those motherfuckers have the ukulele
Yeah.
plane. It's not ukulele. They'll kick you off the fucking plane, call you Howie.
Yeah.
It's ukulele, and they give you the rum punch.
Yes.
And their little slideshow of the islands. Their
different.
vacation begins. But also, you hear people that have lived there, and you get this island fever where you're like, I've had enough. I got to go. It's extremely expensive there. I love going there, but I would never live there.
Yeah.
Even if I had fuck you money,
It's different.
would not live there. However, the Caribbean is an amazing place. Is an amazing place, and that anyone I've ever met or become dear friends with are some of the nicest, most genuine people I've ever met in my life.
Appreciate that. It's
You're
the
welcome.
truth.
And
It's the
you're
truth.
one of them, man. And for you to be so hospitable last year when we're all day fishing, and then you're like, come back to my house. We're going to make you an island. You're having an island meal. I'm like, okay, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down for anything.
Man, it would be totally disrespectful if I didn't do that. 100%. It would be so disrespectful, Jeff, if you came all the way to Florida, visited your mom, you're on my side of town, and I can't say, hey, come to the house, eat some food. That's totally disrespectful if I couldn't do that, right? And just showed you exactly what our hospitality feels like, right? Because that's part of what we're going to show too as well. I want people to understand how kind Caribbean people are. I want people to really fully understand Caribbean culture through our real estate, right? I used to have this hiccup back in, and this happened back in 2020. I was in a Clubhouse room, and they were talking about, what should luxury real estate look like and feel like. And I'm sitting there in a room, and I know I am probably the only Caribbean dude in the room, right? Who's done something a little bit. And I'm listening to all of these megas, right? Talk about, 20,000 square feet and this and that and, 3 pools, 15 bedrooms on top of the side of a cliff somewhere. And I'm like, man, you guys need to go to the islands, man, because the luxury there is totally different than what it is elsewhere. But the feeling that you get when you're there, that's the luxury.
It's what you just said was so powerful and is the hook for your show. Because I have friends that are high net worth individuals and they live in California.
Yeah.
And they live in multi-million-dollar homes. One of them's in Malibu. And he's told me, he's like, Jeff, I've got a $7 million home. And when I walk out of my house and I look down at the ocean and there's a road right there, this was Pacific Coast Highway's right there, PCH, and there's all these fucking homeless people right there.
It's nuts.
It's crazy. And the taxes is insane. You have that type of luxury compared to island luxury that you're talking about.
Stress-free.
It is stress-free.
Bring your boat. Bring your yacht.
Stress-free luxury. I mean, and honestly, that's your hashtag.
Stress-free.
Stress-free luxury.
Ooh.
And you get a recording of this.
Hashtag,
and
right?
you'll get a recording of this. You can go back and play it over and be like, oh, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
But I think that would be an amazingly powerful hashtag for you to use is you do, island life, Caribbean life, stress-free luxury. Those are 3 your hashtags that you would use on all your social media campaigns.
Jeff is getting tagged on everything. Yes. This is why we're here. This is why we're doing this, because when I first met you, Jeff, over Facebook, not Facebook, over Clubhouse, I'm like, man, this guy is not only smart, he's witty, he's clever, and there's something, there's something about you, Jeff, that, I couldn't care what anybody else says. This is from Kevin. You have a genuine spirit that transcends boundaries, bro. And that's why it's so comfortable for me to be in a room with you and call you, and I know you'll, if you're busy, you'll text me back and then call me. And that you have my 1,000% loyalty, because when you can easily give me something like that and say, here you go, brother. That's yours. I'm like, oh man. Like, people don't understand how genuine that is, right? And I want to tell you, like, I feel bad that I don't even have something to give you for this, because it's like, yeah.
You just did.
Oh, man. You know, I look at what you do all the time, and I'm like, man, I wonder if the person on the other side understands how much of you're giving to them. I get it. I get it, bro. Because, you know, we talked about this. You know, we talked about how our lives have changed, how our businesses have changed. And a lot of people, Jeff, would rather stay in that lane and just run that same race. And they'll try to run that race and come first every year. You know, I did 10 million this year. I'm going to do 20 million this year. I'm going to do 30 million the next year. The same dog race, the same. Nah, like, there has to be something other than what it is. I was in the Army, and one of the things that I learned coming out of, we're always changing. We're always evolving, right? And as a real estate agent, as a realtor, if your business is the same as was 5 years ago, do push-ups. You got to do push-ups. If your business is the same as it was 10 years ago, oh my God, you need to go jump off a cliff, right? Because at some point in time, you're knocking on doors. At some point in time, you're doing cold calls. At some point in time, you're doing all the different marketing and stuff like that, right? And we're going to get back now where I'll be honest with you, Jeff, I'm a bit frustrated with real estate culture. Super duper frustrated with real estate culture, because it's almost, we're doing this right now, and I feel kind of like, oh man, I'm falling into that, you know, let's do the podcast thing. Let's do the YouTube thing, you know, right? Every real estate agent doesn't have to be on a podcast. Every real estate agent doesn't have to be on YouTube.
Kevin, most real estate agents should not be on a podcast. Most real estate agents should not be on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have what it takes. They just don't. And they're forcing it, and it shows.
Yeah.
There are so many other avenues they could be going to excel as a realtor, instead of jumping on your words, podcast, YouTube bandwagon.
Yeah.
I co-sign that statement 100%. It is just something that I see every day. And it is like nails in a chalkboard. But okay, so be it. And that's why I've been blessed with this podcast that I now have a 3-month wait list to get on this thing. Amen. Which is hysterical to me.
Amazing,
right?
bro.
I have people now contacting me for sponsorship. You know, for partnership inquiries
amazing.
Is what my coach calls it. Partnership inquiries. Okay, fine. Which I am humbled by that.
Yeah.
One of my short form videos on Instagram just hit over 2 million plays.
Ooh,
2 million plays.
that's amazing.
And I took a step back just to go, good job.
Yeah. You got to pat yourself on the back.
Anybody that's successful, and you know this, our biggest enemy is the mirror. We are never satisfied.
Never.
We are always pushing ourselves to
something
be excellent, right?
Yes, yes.
And it's if it's not money, it's something else, and it's like conquering a new thing, like what you're doing. And so I've just taken a step back. That I'm very picky who comes in here, who sits across from me.
I appreciate, yes, sir.
And I love you unconditionally, and will endorse and do whatever I can to help you with zero expectation of anything in return.
Man, I appreciate
That's what nourishes my soul, is helping my friends.
Yeah.
And if I can help you and your family this much, and it's positive,
yeah,
I die a happy man.
Man, that's
full
amazing.
stop.
That's amazing. It's amazing to know that, because, you know, like I said, we talk about this, right? And to know that 2-3 years from now, Jeff, we're gonna look back and be like, man, look at where this started. Look at the beginnings of this, right? I told one of my agents the other day, I said, I said, it's crazy how when I got into real estate in 2007, right? I never thought about actually building a house. I just thought about selling it. Right? Now, real estate agents are building homes to sell. And builders are becoming real estate agents to sell.
Yes. Oh, shit.
What the hell is going on? Yeah. Right? Real estate agents, listen, real estate agents are becoming developers now. And developers are becoming real estate agents. Jeff, it's like the whole, it's like everybody's just like, what's going on?
And the thing is that I told you about him in the car right here, Mark Pattinson.
Yeah.
He's like 7 or 8 in the world with EXP. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Super smart. Serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And he just bought a multifamily development in downtown Henderson.
Yeah.
And he's redoing it. He's going vertical and he's going to add a ton more units. But this guy knows his shit.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's really good. And so before, I know that people would do that and they'd fall on their face.
Yes.
I think now the realtors that are getting into development are so much more educated.
Yes. You have to be.
You have to be.
You have to be.
Especially when it's your money on the line now. Right? Like, oh, shit.
Listen, just imagine failing at that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it brings up a great observation that I think realtors now are much more wider scope of vision.
Yes.
Rather than just, I'm going to do open houses and make 100 calls a day and work my CRM and blah, 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 which most agents do. And if you do that well, you can make a very good living as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
You can make a very good living as a real estate agent. However, there is that upper to extremely, there's that upper level class of realtor that is now saying, I want to own Airbnbs.
Yes.
I want to start building out multifamily developments.
Yes.
I want to start real estate investment trusts and syndication deals.
Yes.
Nationwide.
Yes.
And I'm using a podcast and or YouTube to broadcast my business plan.
Yeah.
And it's working.
It's working.
It's working.
Hold on. What about this one though? This one hit me the other day too. You have podcasters and YouTubers becoming real estate agents. Very successful in podcasts, very successful in YouTube. And they're getting licensed and then going out there and putting it out there on YouTube and, all the different platforms because they're good at that already. They're good at YouTube already. They're good at podcasting already, and they just go out there and say, hey, you know what? I'm a real estate agent. Let me show you what I can do on YouTube. And they're killing it. Listen, I sat down in a room last year, January. I sat down in a room in January. The guy, successful YouTube guy, he's only been in real estate for 2 years. And he was kicking ass so much, he was beating half the people who've been in real estate for over 20 years by his YouTube channel alone, right? So when you look at the dynamic of real estate, and it comes all the way back to why I simply said, you know what? And I'll be honest, and I don't want to say, listen, I'm not a coward. I am just smart enough to know what battles to fight. I realize that there's a battle going on that I really don't want to be a part of, but I can actually create a road and a lane, not only for me, because I'm pretty sure that there are tons of other Caribbean real estate agents out there who might see the show and be like, oh my God, I want to do a spinoff of that. Go for it. Because at the end of the day, we have to be able to look at our entire landscape in real estate year over year. My videographer said to me one time, he said, Kev, you cannot follow the trend. Don't follow the trend, Kev. Be the trendsetter.
Amen. When you are the lead dog, the view is always different.
Yeah.
And I don't care if someone's speaking positive about me or if they're speaking negative about me. I'll get nervous when they stop speaking about me.
Oh, yeah. True story.
Right?
True story, yes.
And I just had another, you're talking, and I love this, by the way. Like I'm honored that you called me last week from Fort Myers, Florida, and you said, brother, I am shooting a pilot in several Caribbean islands highlighting Caribbean luxury real estate.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking to large networks already. They are interested.
Yes.
Because I'm an island guy.
Yes.
I
am an island guy.
And you said, sir. I want to hop on a plane immediately and come on your podcast and talk to you about it.
Yes, sir.
And I said, let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Yeah, taking action, man.
We'll part heaven and earth, and lo and behold, here we are.
Yes, sir.
Right?
We got to take action, Jeff.
We have to take action on things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, to me, the biggest struggle, anyone who, to be successful, the key is to take action on certain items that will forward you.
Man.
Whether it's going to nourish your soul financially, spiritually, physically, mentally, whatever, but do it.
Do it.
Stop making fucking lists.
Listen.
And do it.
Ooh.
Instead of making a list, how about the number one thing you want to put on your list? You go fucking do it. Go do it.
Go do it. Yes.
Master that. So you're at a point where you have reached your goal that you set for yourself, and you're feeling good. Then you have so there's not a list should not be 1 through 10. It should be 1.
Yes. Yep. Listen, I 100% agree. When I've been chewing on this about 1.5 years now, right? And my wife got in my ass. You know why she got in my ass, Jeff? I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her.
Ooh, yeah.
I literally, the idea came up, and it came up, I'll be honest with you, it came up when we were in Clubhouse. Because, like I said, we were all talking about luxury real estate, and I'm like, wait a second, we got luxury real estate in the Caribbean. And the idea started formulating back then in 2020. And I'm saying to myself, I could do something. And lo and behold, I'm looking at how content creation has changed from 2020 to now. And I said, oh my God, you introduced me to ChatGPT. And I'm telling you exactly what it is. ChatGPT helped me with this. I sat down and I formulated every part of the show. And it's crazy. I know a lot of people from my radio days, and I have a very good friend who's the producer of this show. She works for CBS in Tampa. I shot her the idea and she said, shit, I love this, Kevin. I'll be honored to produce this. And we're going back and forth. She just hit me up this morning, and we have the opportunity to do this. I didn't tell my wife. I'm sorry. I didn't tell my wife. I think I told you were number 2 or 3?
I was 3. You told me I was number 3.
You were number 3. You were the 3rd person I told this. There have only been, listen, including my wife now, 7. Well, the world is going to know now. But I didn't run out there and say, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I literally sat down there, prayed about this, and waited until the right time to get this together. And when you sent me ChatGPT and I started playing and I saw what it was, Jeff, this is why I had to come back to you, because it was because of you.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
Seriously, when I saw what ChatGPT, I said, ChatGPT, do this for me. And it did. And I could not believe what it was giving me. I went back and I retooled some things, stretched it out. And I said, oh my God. My wife said to me when I booked the flight to come out here, how does Jeff know and everybody else knows, but I don't know? I said, honey, trust me. Please trust me. It had to be like this. And it is. It's taking root. It's taking form. You know, when I speak to people like Ruku, it's like, this is happening. Like, this is really happening because I took action. I was patient. I was diligent. I was careful with who I shared this with. And I took action, Jeff.
I want to back up a little bit from what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
because it's powerful. And I want to understand it more. As much as you want to share from your life experiences and your history, what is it that makes you an actionable person?
I'll take you back to when I was 13, right? I was 13 years old. I had just passed in the islands. We do exams to get into different levels of schooling, right? 13 years old. I just started going to St. Mary's College, right? One of the most prestigious schools in the islands. Started going to St. Mary's, and I was running track. And I was 13 and I won Victor Ladorum, right? So I was the best at that. From that moment on, Jeff, I knew that I was meant for something. Like, winning became part of my lifestyle. I won. I came to the States. I ran track. I won. I kicked ass, right? Family, kicked ass. I'm sorry. I hate to say it like that. But my daughter told me the other day, she said, Dad, you gotta congratulate yourself some more because you're the shit. Right? Not everybody can say, hey, Dad, like, you're the shit. But for me, it was how I was brought up. It was the people around me when I was coming up as a kid. I had a great childhood, man. Like, I grew up with at least 30, 40 brothers, really. Because in my village, there were guys around my age, and we played soccer every day. We ran, we sucked sugarcane, we hung out on the corner in Chagonis. I had a great childhood. So for me, winning, succeeding, that drive, that commitment to follow through, and that commitment, I didn't know what it was to fail so often. You know that slogan, fail fast, fail forward, and fail often. I didn't get that until I was older, right? That slogan didn't really, for me, I didn't feel like it applied to me until I was older. But now I can say, yes, you got to fail. I wasn't accustomed to failing. The first thing I really failed at was my first marriage, right? I was married for 10 years at first, but I felt like I failed at that. But, God had something bigger and better for me, because my wife now is exactly where I needed to be, because she pushes me to be 10 times greater than I was back in the day. She helps me understand, you know what? Everything is not perfect. But you got to take action. You got to do what you said that you're going to do. And that's why I'm doing what we're doing right now. Jump on a plane a week later. Come on, let's do this. Because it's the right time. I hope that answers your question.
It does. No, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So now let's bring it up to near future.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be on a plane next week.
Mm-hmm.
What islands are you going to?
So Trinidad first. So I'm going home to see my father first. Obviously, Trinidad, my home country. I have a lot of friends there. So I'm going to spend a few days in Trinidad. One of the top agents there, a good friend of mine. She's going to show me around. We're going to talk. I also do have friends who are in government, who are in, they deal with the economy. So I have the ability to talk to them. And I'll definitely follow up with you to, so that we can powwow a little more.
Please,
on what you just said.
I'm happy to help.
But from Trinidad, we're going to Barbados, right? And we're going to go to Barbados for a little bit, do the same thing, right? We're going to highlight different areas in Barbados, because I think Barbados is one of those islands that people don't see enough of. And it's probably one of the most beautiful islands you would ever see. And then from there, we're going to go to Grenada, right? I think a lot of Americans, when they hear Grenada, they think about, oh my God, something bad happened, with the U.S. and Grenada back in the day. Man, Grenada is the Spice Island, they call it. right? So we're going to go to the Spice Island and we're going to shoot. We're going to spend 2 days on the Spice Island. And then we're going to go up those small islands, right? 2 or 3 of those small islands. So we're going to, it's actually, I think, a 15-day trip, right? We leave on the 11th and then we come back on the 25th.
What are the small islands that you're going to visit?
You put me on the spot. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Just curious.
Yeah, but there are a couple small islands off the coast of Grenada that lead up to St. Vincent, right? And we're going to be island hopping just to see what it looks like. I've never been to those islands, to be honest, but my producer is saying, hey, Kevin, you know there are islands up there that you can go touch. And I'm like, well, I guess that's what we're going to do.
I would also look at, if you talk to somebody like a financial person, to say, how are people acquiring property there? Are they coming in all cash? Do they have
financing?
You know, is there creative financing that they offer? Like, here it's a 30-year conventional mortgage is what most people do. What is it that each island has? Do they offer something different?
Yeah.
And to do something like that.
Yeah. I definitely, you know.
Also, right?
All of these, that's great.
Because again, you want it, the way you do it, and this is how, when I advise any of my clients, I'm talking to friends now on this thing, is it's not about you, it's about your message and the people that are going to receive your message.
People consuming, yes.
It's who's consuming, so you reverse engineer it.
Yes.
To say, okay, if I'm living in, Las Vegas, Nevada, and I have, $500,000 put away, and I'm 48 years old, and I've been to the Caribbean a bunch of times and love it.
Yeah. Where am I buying?
Where am I buying?
Yeah.
And how am I putting that money to work for me to get the best house possible?
Yes.
In the best location?
Yes.
That's kind of that's the way I would look at it. And I would talk to, every time you're going to meet with somebody from the government, let's say Trinidad, excuse me, and you say, I would get information ahead of time from them, Economic Development Office, whatever, and say, from the states, what state are they coming from?
Yeah. Where are they coming from?
What's the demographic?
Wow.
And they should have all that stuff.
Yeah, they should.
That data is now, anyone can get that data. I can get it. Yeah. And so it's Trinidad, and it is, it's a couple whose, their net worth is $2 million, and they're 63 years old.
Yeah.
And retired, or one of them working remote with an iPad as a consultant.
Yep.
And that's it.
I had some folks last year. No mean to cut you off. I had some folks last year who stayed in. So I have an Airbnb in Fort Myers, and they're from Wisconsin. They travel to a different Caribbean island every year since they've been retired. And that's their snowbird. So they didn't do the conventional snowbird, buy a house in one place and just stay there. No, they go to Airbnbs in different islands.
Oh, it's great.
And they stay there for 6 months.
It's great.
From Wisconsin, right? When they told me that, when she came in November. She came in November, and she told me that, I scratched my head. I was like, man, that's exactly what we're doing out here. She knows something. So once again, it was all, everything that we've been praying about, planning for the last year and a half, it's just been a culmination of little clues that do this. You got to do this.
And that ties into when I'm watching House Hunters International.
Yeah.
And maybe that becomes a chapter of, like, say, if every episode you're doing is a book.
Yeah.
And in that book, there's going to be 4 or 5, say 5 chapters that you're going to touch on. It's that same template every time, because people want that. They
5
know
segments. Actually, every show we shoot has 5 segments.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those segments is because you're talking about Caribbean luxury, Caribbean life, and the economics of there and all that, briefly on that. But then you also maybe say, here's a house that you can buy, and this one costs, $1 million.
Yep.
Or you could rent, and it's going to cost you $7,500 a month.
Yeah.
Or $5,000 a month, or $10,000 a month.
And people pay that.
But this is what you get. Because my mom passed away in February 28th, and I said to all of her friends, you know, she's in Spring Hill, Florida, God's waiting room, Timber Pines. And,
you told me that.
Right? And I said to all of them one time, this is a couple of years ago, I said, your generation of people that work at one job for 30 or 40 years and then get out in their 60s or, you know, whatever, and then live 20 or 30 years more off a pension is gone. It's gone. And I think that the 55 and up communities, like in Florida, they've got to diversify very soon. Because once we get through the boomers, like I'm Gen X.
Yeah.
You know, when we get ready, first of all, I don't think, like, I know for me, I'm never going to retire.
Me too.
I will always do podcast, consulting, whatever.
I'll do something.
Something, right?
Yeah.
And as long as I have Wi-Fi, I'm good.
That's what I said.
I'm good.
Give me a boat, a fishing pole, and Wi-Fi, and I'm in the Caribbean.
Right? I'm good. And so I think that to be talking about that, to say, not only can you, if you want to buy here, you can, but in a very quiet way by showing people that, hey, for $3,000 a month, this is what you can get.
This is renting for $3,000 a month.
Right.
Oh
that I was blown away. Brandy and I both fucking blown away at these wonderful places.
$1,800 a month.
$1,800 a month, Southern Australia, on the ocean. Like right there's the fucking ocean, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going, what the shit am I doing?
What am I doing here?
I'm in fucking Inspirada paying $2,300 a month for my place. What the shit's wrong with this? Now, again, I love my kids. I'm here for a long time. However, wouldn't it be nice to have a place that I could go to with Brandy for a month or two even?
And just relax.
And maybe it's, you know what? You get a one with a 3-bedroom because then if the kids want to come, they could stay. Maybe put up a little podcast studio. And then I get Scott Vera, Level 9 Studios. And Scott would, of course, be kicking and screaming to say,
He's
Scott,
coming.
You're coming out, bud.
He's coming.
For a couple days at least. And, you know, and we're going to shoot and fly people in and shoot Fargo Talks right there.
Listen, I would love something like that. Like I said, man, you see, this is why I love you, bro, because we can have these conversations and I know it's going to go somewhere. Yeah. It's definitely going to go somewhere because the imagination is unlimited, right? And the things that we can do, because we know we're not settling, you know? I don't know if you knew this, and I hope I don't blow the internet with this. I spent 2 years of my life in prison, right? And when I came home, I had a guy, this Muslim guy, he said to me, buy real estate. This was 2005, Jeff. He said, buy real estate. I'm like, what the hell this guy is talking about? I'm like, what? I just hit 30. I'm like, nah, the hell out of here. That was 2005. In 2002, I had a drill sergeant tell me, buy real estate. I was 22 years old, right? No, in 99. In 99, 22 years old, he said, buy real estate. I'm like, get the hell out of here. I'm here to tell you right now, the buying age of real estate is getting younger and younger and younger every single year. And what we're talking about here, what we're the mission that we're on right now, I definitely foresee a year from now, 2 years from now, what we're talking about is happening. Somewhere in the Dominican Republic, somewhere on some remote island, it's there. Because when we talk about and this is real. Like, you can literally rent a place somewhere in the Caribbean for $1,800 a month, probably. And it would probably more than likely be better than what you're living in. Not taking anything away from what life is here in the States, but you're going to get clean food. You're going to get fresh air.
You can drink the water.
You could definitely drink the water.
Fuck Mexico. You could drink the water in the Caribbean. You could drink the water in the Caribbean.
But here's the thing, though. You're definitely going to have the lifestyle that you've probably been wanting all your life. And that is what we're trying to get people to see. And I know that's what you want. You want that lifestyle. You want that, that I don't have to deal with the congestion of where we are right now. What you said, you want to be able to run away for a month and say, you know what? Let me take a brain break. The Caribbean is a brain break.
I want to be free.
Oh, nice.
When I went through taking care of my mom for 6 months, almost every other weekend, flying out to Tampa and taking care of her, getting her out here, and 3 weeks later she passes away. It shook me to my core.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And it was just, no one prepares you for that. And it's awful. And there's trauma I'll have for the rest of my life from it.
Yeah.
But it's also, I'm now, though, the upside is astronomical in terms of giving me perspective on my future.
Yes.
I'm in love.
Nice.
I'm head over heels in love. And she's wonderful. And she loves me. And it feels so nice to have that.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about it, but I never knew.
Yeah.
And now I am like, holy shit, this is great.
You know what the emoji looks like with the hearts all around it? That's what it feels like.
That's me every goddamn day.
Yeah.
Kevin.
And you know what's so crazy, Jeff? You can almost take that and say, here, honey, let's take a $75 ferry ride to the Bahamas. We're going to Florida, but let's stop off in Fort Lauderdale. There's a $75 ferry ride. We can go to Bimini and spend the day in Bimini. Like, think about that, Jeff.
And that's, I think now, with the internet and with more people doing video, and especially the onset of TikTok, with these short little videos, that people are traveling more.
Yes.
There was a great video that Brandy sent me 2 days ago, and this couple, younger couple, no kids, bless their hearts, so they can do it.
They could do it.
But
nice.
they go, I don't know where their hometown was, but they walk up to the gate at a ticket counter at the airport, and they say, we want 2 round-trip tickets from here to whatever city you have available on the next flight going out.
Nice. And do it.
And they went to Philadelphia. They went to Philly.
Yeah.
Great town.
Yeah.
Philly's a great town to go visit.
Yeah.
And they land. First thing they did, like they find a cheap hotel. They stay there. Then they walked up to the nearest park and found an older person and said, hey, we're here for a day. What should we do?
Yeah. And
they went and did some museum. Then they went on Facebook events and found some like roller skating thing that they went to.
Amazing.
And it was this uncomfortable but amazing experience because they got uncomfortable and said, there's no itinerary.
Yeah.
There's no plan.
Yep. And that's the sweet spot.
And that's that sweet spot where you go, oh my God. And so if that's the direction, and it is, that a lot of people are going, then it's, why am I sitting in Henderson, Nevada,
hoping.
With the, again, I love it here. I'll be here for a long time, but for me to have a place that I could go to for 2 to 3 weeks or a month, a year, and reset my battery.
Yes.
And I could still do a little bit of work there if I had to. That's okay. I could batch these things all day long. I could shoot a bunch of them and then take off.
Keep it moving,
and keep it moving. No one know the difference. But what that does as a brain break, as you're saying, but your quality of life, when the most important people that you know and you love die, it makes your time on this earth much more precious.
Man, valuable.
Much more valuable.
Yeah.
So now, the more time I spend with my kids, that's first. Then it's Brandy.
Yeah.
I come first in terms of my health. Almost every morning now I walk, which I'm now officially old. I walk a little over 5 miles. I'm one of those. I'm like back when I was a kid, everybody was from Canandaigua, New York. They'd go to Victor to Eastview Mall with mall walkers. And they had their giant orthopedic fucking sneakers on, walking all over Eastview Mall. I'm a goddamn mall walker now, but I'm an Inspirata with my Brooks running shoes on, and all the old people walk by me, and I say hi, and they say hi to me, and I love it.
Yes.
I love that. That's first. Second is Alex and Jack, my kids.
Yes.
Third is Brandy.
Bless them. Yeah.
Right? And then it's work.
That's your world, man.
And that's my ecosystem.
Yes.
That's my ecosystem, Kev. And once I learned that, I've never been happier. I have balance in my life for the first time ever.
That's what you accepted. Like what you're saying, man, my paws are raising because I said that to Natalie the other day. I said, nobody else matters other than our 5 kids and you. Like everybody else, sisters, brothers, mom, that little world right there, that little circle, that's my hub. That's my hub, and that's who I like. Everything that I do for them. I do for y'all. The relationships, I kid you not. You know, your mom passed away, bless her, in February. I had an aunt who passed away in December. And then I had I've had like 3 really close friends pass away between then and now. And every single time, I kid you not, Jeff, you see exactly what you said. It's resonated in me because it's been like, Kev, there's been something downloaded in you that you need to upload to the world. Go do it, bro. Go do it. Like there's been something downloaded in you that that light bulb, and it makes sense. It makes sense. And you know what's so crazy? I hate to say it like this. Sometimes it does take that event in our life. I don't even want to call it catastrophic. It takes that event in our life for us as men, right? Because I totally believe men and women, we process things differently. For us as guys, right? When we start dealing with our kids differently, when we start dealing with life differently, when we approach the things that we do in our career differently, right? You're what, 53?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 47, about to be 48. I have 5 kids. My eldest is 28. Jeff, I spent 2 years in jail. Got out in 2005 and in 2007 started real estate. And almost every single year since then, it's not a huge number. So I'm not trying to say that I did anything crazy, but I closed at least 5 million in volume every single year since then. And I know it's more, but I'm just bringing it down because I don't want to go out there. At least 5 million. It might be crazy, but I've been able to take care of my family. I've been able to buy a couple homes. I've been able to do some Airbnb stuff. I've been able to grow. At 47 now, 48 is going to meet me somewhere different. You could bet your bottom dollar on that. I'm not going to be that same guy that I was when I was 25. Like you said, you put on the shoes now and you walk. You're not the same guy you were 5 years ago because perspective, life has given you a different perspective. And I hope when people see what we're talking about here, they realize that you just got to go out there and, if, like you said, fucking do it. Right? And I took that chance and you're taking that chance. And there are a ton of other people out there who need to take that chance. Go out there and do it.
I think that in order to excel and find true balance, not excel, in order to find balance in your life, 2 things have to happen. You need to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's first.
Mm-hmm.
You need to slow down. And then you need to really be picky on who and where and when you spend your time.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't care anymore about money.
Yeah.
I know it will come. I know that my ex-wife will be paid.
Mm-hmm.
My kids will be, my child support alimony, that'll be paid.
They'll eat.
Fine.
Yep.
My kids will eat.
Yes.
And my bills will be paid.
Yeah.
If some months are better than others, awesome. It was the world works in mysterious ways, because the real estate market has softened.
Mm-hmm.
And so business has slowed down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then with my mom passing, there's money that's coming in from that I'm literally taking a large portion of that and investing it in me and doing this.
That's what you got to do.
And the other thing I'm doing for balance is investing in experiences.
Oh, wow.
To be able to take my daughter to Manhattan for the first time next week.
That's going to blow up.
I can't wait for that. to go last week to Charlotte, where my best friend since we were 15 years old, his oldest son, I was there the day he was born. I walked to the hospital, Alex, and was there for their wedding and had my girlfriend there as well.
Nice.
And then my girlfriend and I going on a cruise out of Miami in July.
You're doing the cruise life?
We're doing a Virgin.
You're doing the cruise life?
We're doing first time I've ever on a cruise in my life.
What?
18 and up. No kids.
No kids. Yeah,
no
virgin,
kids.
man.
Fuck them.
Yes.
Virgin. Let's go, Richard Branson.
That is going to be
Bring
amazing.
it, brother.
Yes.
We got the romance package. You shake your phone anywhere on the goddamn boat, Kevin, and they bring you a bottle of champagne.
Get it.
Done.
I love it.
I'm done, and
That's
I love it. I can't wait. It's grown people stuff.
Yes.
On the balcony, they have a fucking hammock. Now, I'm going to bring some like absorbent wipes and a black light before I get in the thing, but I'm all over the hammock. Day at sea, I'm all over that goddamn hammock as long as we get CSI Miami out there first to make sure it's all good.
It's good, yeah.
I don't want it to look like a black light Dexter's. It looks like fucking Dexter's kill room, which I'm sure it does. So we clean that shit. But then I'm like, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'm down for being able to go back to my hometown of Canandaigua, New York for 9 days with my kids and bring up my girlfriend to do a going away bash for my mom.
Nice.
And to be able to take her ashes and put them in Canandaigua Lake, where she spent most of her life.
That's amazing.
That's the stuff. And then the other trip I'm booking now is in September to take my 7-year-old son to Disney World.
Oh, nice.
Just him and I.
That's amazing.
For like 5 days.
We're
going to go.
Disney it out.
And we're going to we'll stay on the property and do the whole thing.
Nice.
And he'll remember that forever.
You're gonna love
I remember
Disney.
when I was a kid.
You're going to love Disney.
Going. And I grew up going there because my grandparents had a condo in Lauderdale by the Sea.
Yeah.
And so 5200 North Ocean Boulevard, Sea Ranch Lakes North.
Oh, you remember.
Unit 1217, 1215, 1217, corner unit. Or you could hit a 9-iron from their patio and hit the sand.
Yeah.
That's how close they were. I grew up from birth to 28.
Yeah.
Going there.
Wow.
And so I have those experiences of my grandparents would take me to Orlando and we'd go to Disney World.
It's the best, man.
Right? And
it's
so
changed so much.
And it has. And so for me to be able to do, but it's what I'm saying is that my point is I want to be able to invest in myself. I'm doing that now.
Yes.
And I want to be able to give my kids experiences.
Yes. That's, you know what? I love that you said that. It's the experiences. Give them those experiences because they're going to love you so much.
That's the part. I do it to empower them to say, this is the world. And I can say it now because by the time this airs, we'll already have been to New York City. Yeah. But we get into JFK, I fucking hate, but LaGuardia, I couldn't get in. We're going to JFK, whatever. But we get in at like 9 o'clock at night, next Tuesday night, next Wednesday morning. Yeah. We're at the helipad at the South Street Seaport.
Do it.
And we're doing a helicopter tour of Statue of Liberty and the entire all of Manhattan Island.
Do you know how many New Yorkers have never even done that?
Oh, I went there with a girl I was dating in the mid-90s. Yeah. And I lived there in the early 90s. Went back, a bunch of my friends, we all got together and we did the Circle Line.
Yeah.
And everybody on that came, there was like 6 or 7 of us. Yeah. None of them have done it before. And they're all lived in Manhattan their whole lives or lived Long Island their whole lives, never done it. And they're like, this is amazing.
Yeah. So many New Yorkers don't do stuff
just like don't do that stuff. So yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to throw it out here. I'm sitting here and you were talking about the couple who went to Philly, right? Man, that's a show. That's a show. That's a show, a real estate agent actually going to different cities and hooking up with a different agent and going around their city looking at their real estate.
And you're literally walking up to, whatever. What's your airline that you usually fly to get your miles?
Delta.
All right. Delta, that's the best airline. Yeah. In my opinion, the best domestic airline going is Delta. We're flying Delta to Manhattan. Oh, yeah. I love it. So you go up to the Delta counter and and somebody's filming you just with their fucking cell phone, Kevin. Yeah. And you say, hey, what's the next flight out of state? Yep. Where is it? I'd like to book a round trip ticket for, and come back in 2 days.
Yep. And just
come back in a day.
And just meet up with a real estate agent out there.
Yep.
And just say, hey, I'm in town. Let's go look at some property.
I would even, as soon as you book it and you're waiting for your flight, if there's time, you go into Google and say it's Nashville. Yeah. And you go, real estate agents, Nashville. Yeah. And go past the fucking pay-per-click shit. Yep. Right? The top 3. No. Yep. The first organic one that shows up. Yep. And call that person and go, hi, my name's Kevin. Yeah. And I'm in Fort Myers. And I'm coming out there. And this is my thing that I'm doing. Yeah. And could you show me around and just show me your city.
Show me your city,
but also show me the real estate landscape of what's going on in Nashville.
That's a show, Jeff.
And you're there for a day.
That's a show,
and
Jeff.
You know what? You're there for a day and fly back that night. You're
That's
welcome.
A show, bro.
You're welcome. Go.
That's a show.
Go.
Yes. That's a show. That's different.
That would be awesome.
That's a show.
That's a show, brother. That's a show. I get on that one, my friend.
I'm going to jump on that.
Get on that one. I'll tell you something. You get on that one.
I got a ton of miles from Delta too, so
well,
let's
here's
do
the thing. You do that one, and if you're like, hey, Jeff, I just did it, and we're going to Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll see you there.
Cool.
And you and I go.
Yeah, let's do it.
How funny. Oh, my God. But
Bro.
Because I'd be down for something like that in a second because my ADHD, something spontaneous, I'm like,
let's do it. That's me too, bro.
Yeah, right?
Like, honestly,
I love that.
See, like I said, I'm at a point in my life now, Jeff. There's no turning back. There's no, let me see if this will work.
Yeah.
Let me try this. Excuse my French. Fuck trying it. We're doing this, right? The money will come.
Money always comes.
I'll be honest. I'm not worried about the money. The money will come. You're right. The real estate market has changed for a lot of us. But you want to hear something? I've learned this a long time ago. The more people you talk to, the more your business will continue to grow. I talk to people every single day, Jeff. Every single day. Some of my agents say, Kev, you just snap your fingers and you get a deal. It happens because I talk to people every single day. Every single day. So that money will show up. I'm not even worried about it. It will show up. So I like that.
You got it.
I like that one, Jeff. That's a Jeff Fargo talk right there.
I can't thank you enough for, I'm humbled, I'm honored, I love you.
Man, you're my brother,
I love
bro.
you, man. You are my brother. And you are welcome back here anytime you want. You have carte blanche. Not that you need to be told that at all.
Man,
but
I appreciate you.
I admire you. I love you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
With what you're doing. And I am so lucky and blessed to have a front row seat to the show that is your success.
Man, we're going to do this, Jeff. And I keep saying this, and I hope you don't mind me saying what I'm about to say. I see a lot of brothers out there in real estate, right? But we don't get pushed to the forefront too much, right? I'm kicking down the door. I don't care. I mean, I see there are a lot of brothers out there. There are a lot of other brothers out there doing great things, amazing things. We need to do more, right? Everybody talks about the disparity in real estate between black, white, yellow, green, all of that good stuff. I'm not going to deny that stuff. I'm from the islands. I grew up in a little something. I came here. I moved to a brownstone, from a brownstone to an apartment, from an apartment to a home, from a home in Brooklyn to a home in Long Island, from a home in Long Island to the Army, from the Army back to Brooklyn, then to Florida. Since I've been in Florida, we've owned, I kid you not, 6 homes. Jeff, we can do this, but I'm about to kick down a door. I don't care who like it or who don't like it, but I'm about to kick down a door.
It's not we, it's you. You're doing this.
Yeah.
The universe has brought us together.
Amen.
I'm just here as a friend. I'm here as a friend just to offer my guidance, wisdom, and love.
Amen. I like that, bro.
That's it.
I like that.
Thank you, my friend.
That's what's up, man. Jeff Fargo.